Hi there, greetings, happy new year 2023 and welcome back to Tukuze Matunda channel. Thank you so much for all those who have subscribed, liked, followed and shared our journey, and we are really energized and excited to start the new year, the year 2023. And today being January the 14th, the year 2023, we are back in our Tumaini orchards. And what an exciting season we are in, because for those who know the name of this fruit, this is the red plums. I think the species is Prunus, Prunus, and this is one of the many fruits that we grow here. It's a perennial tree, and as you can see, it's a woody plant. See, this one has several branches, and these are some of the fruits that we grew up enjoying in this zone that we are in. That is Nyandarua. And one thing that I've been able to establish is that plums in this country grow in relatively colder region. So if you're in Mombasa, for example, and you are thinking of growing plums, I don't think you might be very successful unless maybe you have a lot of technology. Because recently I saw someone growing pineapples in Dubai in the middle of the desert, of course in greenhouses and stuff. But these fruits are generally known to thrive in colder region. So our altitude, that is the height above sea level, where I'm standing right now, it is 22 meters. So you've always heard me say that Tumaini is quite a cold place, and true it is. And other crops that also grow here, of course potatoes, but this is one of the annual crop that we enjoy, and the fruits start ripening from the month of from December thereabout. And of course these fruits will disappear very soon. If we don't harvest these fruits right now, of course the birds have been having a field day here, and they will disappear in a week's time. If we don't harvest them, I can tell you for sure there will be nothing, and the trees will be stripped all the fruits. So this particular fruit, does it have an economic value? Yes, it has. And for a very long time when we were growing up in this part of Nyandarua, these are some of the common fruit trees you're likely to encounter in a homestead in Nyandarua. Especially the old compounds, not these new people who are establishing their homes now, but I'm saying those people who grew up in the 80s and 90s. There was likely to have 1 or 3 or 4 trees that the family would enjoy every year. And how do we propagate this tree? So maybe before I go about propagation, I just want to show you the inside of this fruit, because I've noted that plums come in very many forms. I've bought plums from Carrefour, and you'll find that some of them, I think it's different cultivars. I'll need to research more on that, but some are usually very red on the inside. And maybe here is one I've just harvested. And you can see it's red inside, very red. And there is a seed. Is it a pod? Yes, inside. One of the things that I'll also be doing this year is to fundraise for a camera, a proper camera. So if you have one that you can maybe donate. I'm using a 5-year-old Huawei phone, which has served me well, but being the old guy that I am, the other priorities. So as you can hear, I'm enjoying the plum straight from the tree, and the remnant is a pod here. I think it's the seed. I've not done a very thorough job of cleaning it, but it's usually like, I think, white in color. So plums come in many forms. I've seen different cultivars, and I've also seen some very huge plums, some that I think imported from South Africa, and some are yellow in the inside. But what we have here, honestly, I don't even know who planted this tree, but this tree could be, say, 20 or 30 years old, and they can grow big in size. But this one has been, when the fruits ripen, I think the young boys do climb, and you'll see some branch snapping and all that. So we've not taken like very good care of these trees, and because for one reason, the tree has not been really regarded as one of those prime commercial tree, and I'll soon be showing you my good friend is harvesting some, because we can't leave them on the tree for our family members to enjoy. We usually don't sell them, but we do share among our friends and family the fruits that we harvest. So in this farm we have around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, around 7 trees, and they will give us enough fruits. And like I've said, the fruits will be enjoyed, between now and end of February. For those who are in value addition, this makes some very nice jam. And I remember many years ago, I could see my mom preparing some jam from these fruits that would be used on bread and stuff. So besides jam, I don't know whether people do juicing. Others are dried up, and I enjoy it like snacks. Those are things that are done elsewhere, not in Nyandarua. And maybe back to propagation. You just need to get, like when we were growing up, you could just get a cutting and root it, and from there you wait 2 or 3 years. You allow the cutting to, or rather the young seedling, to establish vegetation. As it grows bigger, you will see fruits in 2 or 3 years from the time you root your cutting. It's that easy. It's that easy. And one of the things that I'll be doing this year is because I don't have much time with nurseries, I'll look for a professional person to root some cuttings here, and I want to plant like 100 trees as we aim to make this farm a fruit center, a proper fruit orchard. And whenever anyone visit here in the month of December, they can enjoy as many fruits as possible. We also want to we've also noted that the appetite for these fruits from buyers has increased. So if you have more fruits, then you're likely to attract buyers, and you can make a coin out of them. The beauty of these fruits, these are some of the fruits that are planted, and besides, once the tree establishes, there is no watering, there is nothing done on these trees. So the tree, this is a purely organic tree, no chemicals, no nothing. Like you just plant it and leave it, no routine care, and you'll still enjoy fruits at the end of the season. So maybe what I insist is that every time I go to the market, I have noted that the size of the plum fruit has continued to decrease. For one reason, the soils are really poor. And one thing that I would tell you, in this community of ours, I think our trees have the biggest fruits because we do fertilize our land around, and that means that the tree is still able to get some extra nutrients from, you know, from the fruits that we, or rather from the manure that we fertilize our land with. So even when we plant, I can tell you, if you want for the best result, make sure you, when you're planting this tree, at least start with, the more farmware manure you use, the more the better the results you're likely to find, especially on the size of the fruit and also the speed at which the tree establishes. And that's just a common practice that I tell everyone who wants to venture in any form of fruit farming. Fertilizing your soils, it's important. So even if you're planting these plums, make sure that the soils are rich in organic materials, farmyard manure, goat manure, name it, call it, is what you need to add to your plant in plenty. Mulch the ground and all that, and you're likely to find more results. So when that time comes, when we'll be planting our plums tree, I'll walk you the journey. And I plan to have more cuttings of plums. So I'll update you as once I propagate this. And I'll also make an effort of trying to research more on the different species that we have of this fruit. So let me take you to my colleague here who's helping me with harvesting the fruits, and I'll show you the ones that have since been harvested. So just come with me, and as you can see, he's using a small what do you call this thing? He used to commonly refer it to kafuda, you know, that three-legged ladder that he's using, and basically this is what he's been able to harvest from this single tree. Look at that, right? And we place them on this crate, which I'll use to transport them to where I'm headed next. So you need a ladder for you to climb up, because most of these fruits are patched up and you don't want to snap the branches. So basically, for the very old trees, you'll find some trees with very established branches. In that case, you can just assess the strength of the branches before you climb up. But if it's just these small trees that are like the one we have here, you can see this particular one is around 7 meters tall. You can't really climb it, but you can also, so you'll need a ladder to climb. So basically that's it. Hope you've learned something about plums. Share ideas on what are some of the things that you can do to value add these plums, because I've said this is a perennial crop. Once we harvest the fruits, all these leaves are going to fall off and the tree will be left bare. It is the same case with the pears, right? We do have pears here as well. It's not yet their season and they've not been doing very well recently. But it's those trees that you have in the farm but you don't give them much attention. But I'll be shifting my attention to those trees, because in the past you used to enjoy a lot of pears here and plums and all that. So besides, like I've mentioned, once we harvest the fruits, the leaves will fall off. The tree goes into some form of dormancy until the next cycle, maybe somewhere in August, when you'll see some flowers forming and stuff like that. And then the cycles continue. You get your annual fruits, and then from there, and the cycle of life goes on and on. So thank you so much. Remember to subscribe and like and share this video, and as we begin the year, I promise you more content, and thank you so much for the feedback. Asante.